Hi there, my name is Emma Simon, and I'm going to be talking about the impacts of ENSO, the El Nino Southern Oscillation, on California jellyfish today. So first things first, let's address what is the El Nino Southern Oscillation. So you've probably heard of El Nino. That's when in Southern California, where we are, comes with a lot of stormy weather and warmer ocean temperatures. The reverse of all this is true during a La Nina event. And really what this is caused by is the pressure being especially low in the Eastern Pacific. When pressure is low in the Eastern Pacific, it brings a lot of warm air in over the maritime continent, causing stormier conditions, low upwelling, high sea surface temperatures, and stormy weather in Southern California. So one thing that El Nino causes that's especially important to note is reduced upwelling, which means that there's not as much cold, deep water coming up from the bottom of the ocean and bringing with it nutrients and phytoplankton. This is important because it impacts fisheries across the coast of California and further, and it also impacts animals higher up on the food chain that rely on fish for food. And one of the most important things to know about a jellyfish is that they are actually plankton, and this means that they cannot swim horizontally, which is important in instances like we've experienced this past winter when there's increased storm surge, increased winds, and really strong ocean currents. Jellyfish are also part of the phylum Cnidaria, meaning they're armed with stinging nematocysts. So a jellyfish sting is a result of the cells that are within their oral arms and tentacles. The phylum Cnidaria also includes anemones, corals, and different types of jellyfish. So scyphozoans are the class that we consider true jellies. They stay in the medusa stage their entire life, from their larval to the maturity. Hydrozoans and cubozoans, while not considered true jellies, are also very jellyfish-like, whereas anthozoans is a class that includes anemones, corals, stony corals, and more. Here's a quick diagram of a jellyfish showing and explaining the different parts of its anatomy, including the umbrella, the manubrium, the tentacles, and the oral arms. This is a picture of a jellyfish that I took over in Thailand. So if you live on the California coast, you've probably seen these little by-the-wind sailors pop up all over the shore. They come in mass numbers during storm surges, and they are hydrozoans, so very closely related to scyphozoans or true jellies. And their scientific name is Velella velella. So unlike most marine animals, jellyfish are actually quite well adapted to survive in both warm ocean waters and in deoxygenated or dead zones, both of which are going to become much more frequent and much more common as climate change continues to worsen. Once jellyfish take over a region, it is often very difficult for other fish to reestablish in that region. And the biggest takeaway from this is that for the most part, jellyfish are continuing to increase in population, which leads to my overall research question, which is how does the El Nino Southern Oscillation impact jellyfish, especially looking right off the California coast where we are? And my predictions with this research are that as El Nino events increase the warm temperatures off the coast and also increase the frequency of storm surges, jellyfish population and diversity will increase. And one of the most important takeaways of this is really dependent on some ongoing research on how climate change is going to impact the El Nino Southern Oscillation in the future. Many scientists have assumed that El Nino will worsen in both frequency and severity with climate change. While we aren't 100% certain of this yet, if that is true, it would raise a lot of questions about how jellyfish populations may permanently alter interactions with fisheries, with other animals, and with the ecosystem in general, or how jellyfish species will adapt to this larger pattern of warmer ocean waters and storm surges. Here's a brief look at my research. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about jellyfish and the El Nino Southern Oscillation, and I hope you're as curious about following it up as I am. Have a good one.